which have already been discovered by man. In various literature, you will find such mentions, even in allopathy or tababas or Ayurvedic and things. So that should be collected, and that would be understood that the medicinal properties transferred to honey are of the highest order and are the most refined without their harmonious effect in any way, because this is a selective gathering of the medicine from the flower. Plus some enzymes are added by the bees themselves. So they will work perhaps like catalytical agents to enhance their properties. So then on particular patients, they should be tried, starting from the flowers and their qualities. The other method is just a wild clinical experimentation. A honey should be chosen by some particular person to be employed for various diseases. In virus diseases, for instance, he should concentrate on viruses and various viruses and employ that honey, and then transfer it to other. It works. It requires very patient research work. It's not the job of a single person. So if somebody is interested in England, some physician, some doctor in this research, he could have a team of his own, and a cell could be created here with gradual spread out to other countries. And again, there is another field of research, relative association of a particular honey found in a particular area and the diseases found in those countries. For instance, in Sindh, the honey which we find is very strongly colored and very strongly flavored and very thick in nature, because the desert flora is generally very thick in sera. Its fluid has to be very thick, otherwise, because of the osmotic pressure, the plant water will be seeped out. Instead of it drawing some water from the soil, the reverse phenomena would start. So it has to be thick. All the desert plantations which grow in extreme conditions, their syrup is thick, and so is the color imparted to their juices, with the result that both the smell, the taste, and the color also are very pronounced. And also there are certain diseases found in those particular regions. And this is again a common experience, that the diseases of a particular area have definitely some bearing, some relationship with the flora of that region. So that is also a way of going for research, correlationship between the diseases of a region and the qualities of honey of that region. A long research would be required because the Holy Quran just drops a hint. And unfortunately, instead of the Muslims carrying out the research, some non-Muslims, some Christians, some atheists make the research, and the Muslims take pride. Look here, was it not Holy Quran? We said it before. Of course it was, but it was not you, the followers of the Holy Quran, who made the research on this subject. So I want Ahmadis to take up the flag and lead the whole world in description of the Holy Quran and its and the pursuit of the lines which have been opened up, the paths which have been opened up by certain verses of the Holy Quran. So if these hints are carried, quite a few people would be required in quite a few countries for some generations to come to carry out this research. Now the third mention of the color, which I find in the Holy Quran, is about the variation of the language and the color of human beings. And it says that there are definitely signs in this. This change in color, that is complexions, and the change in the languages, and also what else is there? Three qualities are mentioned. اختلاف ألسنتكم وألوانكم و Is that all we find out? Which verse is that? You know? बैठ के ना देखें, मैं ऊपर बैठा हूँ. Do you know the reference? It should be just beyond the middle, somewhere. सोलहवें सितारे में बारे में देखे हैं. साकी साहब, इख्तिलाफ और सनतकुम वलवानकुम हैं? देख मैं आज देखना चाहता हूँ, कोई हर्ज नहीं, दो भी हो तब भी असल आयत कर दो जरा, रेफरेंस है तो आपको उसे है कलीद पे ही हैं? आपके पास है, हम पढ़ेंगे नहीं देखते, तुझे कर जाओ. We'll have it. So there also the change in color is mentioned as a sign or some signs. I want to check up. So that also shows that there are definitely some avenues of research which are indicated in that verse. Wherever the Holy Quran says, "Inna fi zalika" or "Inna fi zalikum la ayatan" or "la ayatin," they are the pointers. Never cross them without pausing and trying to find out what the Holy Quran wants to convey. Wherever they are mentioned, they change. They are just like kinks. Immediately they wake you up and say, "You have read it. Now we warn you that there is quite something hidden underneath. Just do not have a cursory glance over the surface. There is a lot hidden beneath." That is the sort of the style of the Holy Quran. So the color is also mentioned as a sign. Now, keeping in view the claim that the man has one origin, though long ago, not from Adam, but from the very first Homo sapiens that was created by Allah. Then the change in colors indicates some variation, and that variation has certain rules and regulations and all that. And what significance has it upon the creation of man and its relationship to God and its conduct and behavior? A new vista for study opens up. So there too you should be very, research-minded about these things. And I'm just searching for other places where the color is mentioned. Can somebody help me? That's quite right. In that sense. And again, وَإِذَا بُشِّرَ أَحَدُكُمْ مُسْوَدٌّ وَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. Color is also, and no, غَرَابِيبُ السُّودُ. There is also
mountains.
Huh?
Both mountains.
Mountains. Colors are mentioned elsewhere also. Now one color, the black color for instance, is mentioned as a mark of beauty, as well as a mark of extreme chagrin or anger or